The Vadio Show is brought to you by We Care Transport for Kids and Platforms Shoe Boutique.
Boy, you're sure in a hurt. You think you can treat me like dirt and then get away with it, honey. Well, you got another thing coming out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to the People Show, the Vadio Show. And the name of this episode is Domestic Silence. And we call it that because it's a lot of people not talking about this subject. I got a couple of ladies here that specialize in this subject, and they're going to kind of give us a little more information. I want y'all to let people know who you are and what you do. I'll start with you.
Okay, well, my name is Kathy Staten, and I have an organization called My Help, My Hope Foundation.
Okay.
And the main focus of my organization is to bring awareness to domestic violence.
Awesome.
But we also reach out to the community, to the shelters here in Hampton Roads, and we're like advocates. We assist the women and children that are in crisis, help them with things that they need.
Very good.
The shelters will call us for something, because a lot of people think that the grants and stuff shelters get cover everything, but they don't. It's the little things that we help out with.
Okay.
So that's pretty much what we do.
Awesome. Ladies?
I'm Olivia Ashby.
And I'm Vicki Ashby.
Okay.
Both of us are founders of Box Cutter Magazine.
Okay. Okay. And what is Box Cutter Magazine about?
Box Cutter Magazine is a magazine dedicated to domestic violence survivors and awareness. And basically it's called Box Cutter because we go outside of the box of what the norm would talk about. We touch on things that people don't want to talk about.
Got you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought Box Cutter was you put your hands on me, I cut you.
We said, let's take that down.
Okay. All right. Got it. Yeah. Let's calm down a little bit.
But it's and Box Cutter, that title actually draws attention because that's the first thing you think.
You are right. You're right.
Is with that.
But when you explain it to me, I'm like,
I'm gonna cut you a different way.
Right. I'm gonna cut outside of the box and solve these problems. Okay. And it's a publication that basically gives information and help to those that are in the situation.
Right.
Okay.
And it's actually coming from the survivors' perspective. We have a lot of literature out where it's general knowledge of domestic violence. So we wanted to do something different, again, coming out of the box. And we basically wanted to build a platform where survivors could be judgment-free and come out and tell their story, tell their testimony in the event to maybe try to help those that are suffering in silence. Both of us are both survivors of domestic violence. Okay. So that's the reason why we wanted to create this magazine, because we didn't have anything to go to. You know, people that we went to kind of turned their backs, you know, or we were judged.
Gotcha.
Based on wanting to have that help. So we figured that if we can have other sisters that have been in a domestic violence situation, that have survived it, that have transformed, that have become stronger, those sisters can take other sisters that are suffering in silence and help them get to where we are.
Gotcha. Okay.
Basically advocates.
Okay. What did you go through and how did you get through? And I can start through you, because you also a survivor
as well. I was married. That was my last domestic violence relationship. But I've been in those type of relationships basically all my life. My mom was abused. I come from a family that didn't love one another, so I really didn't know what love was.
Gotcha.
So I looked for love in the wrong places. So, but the ultimate was when I met my husband, my ex-husband now, and that's when I actually discovered what was actually happening to me, which was a name was put to it, domestic violence. I knew, you know, what he was doing was wrong, but that's when I, discovered the name, and just being with him for 6 months after we got married, he started abusing me. 6 months. No, didn't see any signs beforehand. People always
nothing verbally first.
Nothing verbally. The only thing he did. that when you look back in hindsight, now that when I think about as far as me having a sign, was he liked to drive. Like one time we was, when we would go places, I would drive my truck because I had a better car.
Gotcha.
And naturally, because it's my truck, I would get on the passenger side. I mean, I would get on the driver's side to drive my truck.
Right.
So everywhere we went, when we were dating, that's what I would do. Get on, drive my truck. And so one day he just came out and said, well, I don't like being chauffeured. And I didn't look at it as being nothing. I was like, oh, you want to drive? Go ahead and drive.
Problem,
no problem, But later on, I found out, once I, started learning about domestic violence, he's a narcissist, and he likes to control. So he didn't feel empowered being in the passenger seat.
I got you.
See, driving in the driver's seat, made him feel like he was in control of everything, But like I said, I didn't see that then. And 6 months after we got married, that's when I found out he was, abusive. I couldn't hang stuff on the wall. I couldn't basically go anywhere, do nothing. My son, if he put the dishes in the dishwasher wrong, it was an argument.
Right.
So if he came home, it was a speck on the wall. He wanted to know how I got there.
Right. Always confrontational.
Always confrontational, and everything had to be about him. I had to drive the way he wanted me to go. I had to do things the way he wanted me to go. 2 o'clock in the morning every day, every night, I had to get up and have sex with him.
2 o'clock in the morning every day.
So he would set the clock for me to get up and have sex with him, yes. And if I didn't do it, my day was going to be a living, what.
Wow.
It was that horrible if I didn't do it. And he would leave for work at like 3:30. Yeah. And if I didn't do it, as soon as because he would have to leave to go to work to be on time. Right. As soon as he would leave out of the house to get in his car, he would start calling my cell phone. He would call my cell phone, and he would continue to call it all day long, just constantly bother me for sex. He wanted to make sure, since he couldn't get it that morning, he wanted to make sure that he got it when he came home. Right.
Wow. So how did you get?
So moving fast forward, he's breaking my hand. He's head-butted me.
Wow.
It's a lot of things that he did. Just living that life was just really, really horrible. But in 2008 is when I decided to leave for the second time, because the first time I left, I came back.
Gotcha.
Because I started getting into church and you reading scripture and things like that. And that's how God helped me discover actually that it was domestic violence and what was actually happening to me. So I left, and then I came back because I was, in the Bible. We were just talking about earlier that
make a marriage work.
Make it work, and I'm not supposed to divorce my husband. So I did. I went back to him, listening to my pastor. And he had been, counseling us, which I found out later too that pastors should not counsel a domestic violence couple together.
Right.
Okay, never should do that.
Right.
So, so I went back, and then I left in 2008 for the second time for good. And that's when I actually started my organization, being with him. When I was with him, I started going to, I was volunteering at the Her Shelter.
Gotcha.
And I just started educating myself about domestic violence. And I would get online and spend hours researching and learning everything that I could about it. It was like something was happening to me.
Right.
And then, finally left, and here I am, starting my organization. And now I just want to make sure that other women do not have to go through, what I went through. And it's important with teaching our youth, and like they said, other women, the survivors. I have a program called BOSS, which means Building Opportunities for Successful Survivors.
Nice.
So I talk to them, and I go coach the women, and just to give them reasons to not go back.
And they need that support system.
Yeah, and and they stay away, because once being a survivor, some women get weak.
Yeah.
Especially if the men contact them, and things like that. They, they can not go back. You have a reason not to go back to that.
Yeah.
So I think that is important, and just being stripped of my self-esteem. It took me a long time to become the woman that I am today.
Yeah.
And loving myself, because I didn't love myself at all. I let I allowed. It wasn't my fault that it happened, but I feel like I allowed it to happen. But I didn't know. So I continue to allow it to happen to me.
Gotcha.
So now I love myself, and I'm not going to stand for anything.
And you should.
None at all. I'm not going to stand for anyone to treat me any type of way other than I should. I'm a queen.
Right, and you're right.
I expect to be, to be treated.
Well, I want to come back, and we're going to talk to you all about y'all experience, but I also want to touch on, because that is a touchy subject when it comes to church, and I know it's a big thing with divorce, but in that situation, do we handle it differently?
Yeah, we could just talk about that.
We're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna go to my break. Y'all come back for Domestic Silence and the Vadio Show.
A message from one of our proud sponsors.
Platforms Shoe Boutique, comfortably located in the Hilton Shopping Center in Newport News at 9622 Warwick Boulevard. Encounter a warm, friendly environment, inviting you in for a fresh complimentary tea and coffee. Relax, take it all in, and enjoy your shoe experience.
Wardrobe provided by Upscale Men's Fashion.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you back to the Vadio Show, the People's Show. And like I said, the name of this episode is Domestic Silence, because not a lot of people talking about this. So I'm going to come to you, and I want y'all to tell people what did you go through, and how did you get through?
Basically, I wasn't married. I was with him for 2 years. And the abuse didn't start right off. He knew that I was saved in the church, so
gotcha.
That's how he got me. Our first date was the church. After that, we went to Bennigan's. He fed me all. That's
oh yeah, we know we doing.
So after that, I made sure I wanted to stay platonic. I did not want a relationship.
Right.
He was older. As time went on, we spent time together, more time together. And the first time I didn't pay attention to it was when we went on a date, and he invited me up to his house finally, and I would not take my clothes off for him. So he threw me out of the house with my shoes, and he's like, well, get out. And I got dressed outside because I had my socks off, I had my shoes off, my jacket off, and I said, okay, well, I'll just get my car and come on home.
Right.
That, it didn't dawn on me because he had been drinking. I'm like, well,
you just kind of blaming it on
right. So I didn't talk to him for about a good week or two. And he liked to drink. He was an alcoholic, definitely. But I didn't, my thing was not to judge. You have your thing, that's what you do. The type of person I was well, I'm going to come and talk to you face to face. I'm not scared of you.
Right.
So I went there, cussed him out, and left. And I felt vindicated. Okay, I did my part.
Right.
When he met me, it was at a salon that he worked at. And he overheard me talking to someone about a person in church who just broke my heart by telling me how I was too dark, I was too big, and my hair was too short. And it hurt because this is a man that's in church, and I thought that, I don't understand.
They still people.
Exactly, apparently.
Yeah.
And he heard that, and he rolled in on it. So I was wrong. The line that he used is what really captured me. If I didn't have 5 kids, I would give you the world. I'm like, oh, that's original.
You missed the 5 kids.
But my thing is, they're not my 5.
Oh, I got you.
So they're yours.
You're good. Okay, moving on.
So as time went on, we went to church, and I'm thinking, yeah, this man's going to church. He respects my values. That's fine. When I moved in with him was when everything went south. It went from I couldn't eat I could only fix food for him and his friends, his children to eat. They had noodles, ramen noodles, but everyone would come to his house and eat, and I had to make the food and fix the plates. And I lost so much weight because I was not eating.
So he wouldn't allow you to eat?
No, I had to make sure everyone else ate first. Whatever was left was what I could eat.
Wow.
If I could have a chance to eat, because right after that, you run in the house, get my bath ready, and get my clothes laid out, clean the house, wash the dishes. So by the time I'm ready to lay down, and this is all after working,
right?
I'm not eating, because come lay beside me, I'm ready to go to bed. And he would sleep with his legs locked around me, so I could not even get up to go to the bathroom. I had to ask to go to the bathroom.
Wow.
And I had to always keep the bathroom door open so he could see what I was doing.
Wow.
But I was on my, I hope it's not too
You can even sneak out the window.
No. Oh, he kept that barred up, so that wasn't going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah. But if I was on my menstrual, he had to make sure that I wasn't lying, because he liked sex. He would come in and watch me change.
Are you serious?
And he would sniff it to make sure it wasn't catching.
Are you serious?
I promise you. I promise you.
Wow.
It went to the point of he cut me with the axe to my face. He cut my lip, and he choked me. Every other day I was getting choked.
How did the axe thing happen?
Because I said no to him. He had an axe on the wall. He had guns under the bed. This is how he was.
Right.
He grabbed the axe off the wall, and it was yellow. I remember it was a little baby axe. It was yellow, and he put it to my face and cut my lip because I told him no.
Wow.
And it was like, oh, okay, this man is crazy.
Right.
But one thing about it, what people misconstrue is that, well, you were weak, you didn't fight back. Let me tell you something. This man was built like a gorilla. You can fight as much as you can, but in the end, that man was stronger than me.
Yeah.
Now we were both breathing and panting. We gonna work for this if you gonna. But I couldn't do what he did.
Right.
And when
still
he
a grown
did it, it
man.
was out of the blue.
Right.
It was like if I could be turning washing dishes, and he'll come up around me and just choke me, just out of the blue. Like, what was this for?
Right.
At work, he would call my desk to make sure I'm at my desk.
Wow.
And at my job, I have to move around. If I'm not back in 10 minutes, he is calling and calling, or he'll come up there. He'll just show up there.
So this is a major control situation.
He's a misogynist. He would tell you women are the filthiest thing on this planet.
Wow.
But he's a misogynist. He does not like to have sex with women except to demean and to demoralize them. That's what it is.
Right.
Sex was a weapon with him. He made sure that it hurt to the point of bleed.
Wow.
He urinated on me.
Wow.
And would make me clean it up.
Wow.
The very last beating was in Norfolk at a hotel. And it was all because my father had called me that night. It was his son's birthday. And his friends protected me. They knew he was beating me for so long. They came to the hotel room, and one of them hit him. Now, he's not going to fight a man.
Right.
So he had just got out of jail, and he was like, well, okay, I'm going to turn the other cheek because God said so. He said, well, I'm going to smack that cheek. And they smacked. I said, why did you do that? Because
right.
When he left, that's when I caught it. He picked me up by my throat. He dragged me across the floor. He knows I had alopecia, so he ripped more hair out my head. And he used it. He knew I couldn't go anywhere.
Right.
He blacked both of my eyes. I still have bite marks from when he tried to bite my breast off.
Wow.
He put me in a headlock, and it was hours of this, hitting, punching, biting, just choking.
Where is he at now?
He's in North Carolina.
Is he in jail?
No, he's not. He was. He got out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
As we're in the hotel room, at the end of beating me, he made me strip, and I had to hide myself in the bathroom on that cold floor, and he urinated on me there.
Wow.
He went to bed, and when I got up, I crawled in bed with him for the sole purpose, when you wake up, I want you to see what you did. So when he turned over, he jumped up and fell out the bed.
Wow.
I couldn't believe what he did to me.
Wow.
I said, you did, this is your work. You did this to me. And the reason I didn't leave right then is because where was I going to go? I didn't want my parents to be involved because they're old.
Right.
My friends turned their back on me. They told me I can't have a dumb friend like that. Who was I going to go to?
Yeah.
My car was broke down. Where was I going to go?
Yeah.
So as time went on, he ended up moving away to North Carolina, and he wanted me to move with him. And I said that was a lie.
Yeah.
You gonna kill me. And I said, you're going to kill me.
Yeah.
And he would always ask, am I on your policy? Am I on your life insurance policy? I said, we're not married. No, you're not. When I did, I would go every other weekend to visit him there. He never beat me. But verbally,
Right. It's just as bad.
It was horrible. The sex was still a weapon. He was still urinating on me and in me. And it was, by the grace of God, I don't have any diseases. Amen to that. It was that one night, it was Thanksgiving 2008, amazing 2008, Thanksgiving Day. I drove down there. My dad was crying to me not to go.
Yeah.
I drove down, I said, I need closure, I gotta go, and I went. I didn't leave because he beat me. I left because he didn't listen to me. I went down there. He wasn't there. He was out humping somebody else. I gathered all my stuff out of the house. I knew where he kept the key. I put everything in the car. I said, I know I'm leaving after this. And I promised God, I said, God, if you find me a way out, I promise I won't come back. I promise I won't come back. When he walked in that house, he was strong. He said, come on, go to bed. I said, okay. I said, but we need to talk. I don't want to talk to you. Okay? I said, I'm going to lay down, but in the morning we need to talk. Take your clothes off. He said, no. He asked me to give him fellatios. He wanted oral sex. And I said, no, I'm not going to, because he would force me. I found my ground. I said, no, I'm not going to. This man grabbed a machete off the wall and put it to my neck. Made me take my clothes off and go outside and sleep like a dog.
Wow.
So I slept in a rental car that I had. And he watched me until he couldn't watch me, make sure I wouldn't get up and get back in the house. When he went in there and that sun came up, I got dressed and I drove right back here. And I have not been back since then. Wow. I haven't seen. So to answer the question, how did I get out? I don't know. I'm going to be honest about it. I don't know. I can say it was the promise I made to God. I can say, you know your limit. It wasn't the beating. I wanted to be listened to. Because you said you wouldn't listen to me is what made me leave. Yeah. I can cover up everything else. And it was hard. And the reason I stayed, it wasn't because I wanted to be that one. I was afraid of the pain I was going to feel when I left. Because I went through months of agony. I went through 3 years of bitterness. Couldn't stand the smell of a man. To this day, certain scents I can't stand because he wore them.
Wow.
And it's really crazy to say, but I can feel when he's in the Hampton Roads area. I can feel it.
I think that spirit he carry around is so strong.
It's very strong. I tried to rebuke him one night, and he said up and said, "You can't rebuke me." I heard all kind of stuff going on in his chest. I said, "I know. Is that asthma?" What is that?
Yeah,
but that's basically what it did. But getting involved as time went on, I learned how to love myself. I never strayed away from the church. I still stayed in there. Bishop told me, if you love him, stay with him. My eye was black and everything. But it didn't deter me from going, you just don't know. And that's for that. But I'm a survivor and I'm happy. And I'm
awesome. And you're helping other people out now.
They need to know there's life after abuse. There's life after abuse. If I see him walking down the street, if he was hungry, I'll feed him. That's right. That's right. I would.
I can understand
that. Can't get him a car.
No.
I'll go grab something for you.
I'll toss you a burger though. Yeah, I'll toss you a burger. So, I mean, I'm going to have to keep it short because we're not going to say, you're fine. But give me a short on what you went through and how you got through.
A short stance, what most women want. They want that guy to come, that handsome, tall, debonair type person, wine and dine. And that's the type of gentleman that I dated.
Okay.
I was coming out of a bad relationship, and I had a good friend of mine say, hey, I know somebody that will be good for you. A lot of us have friends like that. And this individual set me up on a date with that person. We dated. He was everything that I could have asked for. Nice car, nice job, look clean cut, suit, showing up at the door with the flowers, the whole night. A couple months of that. After a while, we moved in together as well.
Okay.
And things just kind of changed. Didn't know that he was a military man.
Okay.
I knew that part. But he was controlling.
Gotcha.
Controlling. His controlling was vanity because he could only be the person that had the spotlight.
Gotcha. He liked the attention and all that.
So we would go out to different things, and he would be, other people would compliment me on, she's a nice girl. She looks, looks really good. He didn't like that.
He was jealous of you.
He was very right. Instead of him saying, "Okay, this is a good thing," because that's
right. Right. You should want a woman.
So fast forward, the last event we went to was a Christmas party with a lot of officers that were there, and I got a lot of compliments. He bought the dress, helped fix me up, got hair, nails done, everything. So I was feeling kind of good.
Right.
I was on my
he helped you look nice. He wanted you to look nice. Right. Of course.
So that was too much for him. That was too much for him. When I got home, we had been arguing. We had tissy fights a little bit to the point where, he wanted to try to show me how to secure my bank accounts, but he wanted his name to be on it.
Right. Control.
Right. So that was little stuff. Like, okay, I can take that. But the last event was after after when we came back from the Christmas party, and he didn't like the compliments that I was getting too much, and so he made me take my clothes off. He gave me a drink. And I know that usually a lot of men will offer a drink first because it's hard to cry rape, and it's hard to cry any kind of abuse with alcohol in your system.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So that's some premeditated abuse right there.
Well, I didn't know that then. A lot of things you don't know until after the fact, and that's where a lot of us come in at. We can learn and talk about it in the beginning, so you can know some things.
Right.
You have tools to carry with you.
Right.
Well, I didn't have those tools, so I took a drink, took another drink. This is my boo. We're gonna sit here. We're gonna chill.
Right.
We got an award. Everything's good. You know? Took a couple drinks. You know, I had a couple. Half a bottle was gone. After a while, he made me take my dress off. I took my dress off, and he said, "Stand there." I said, "Okay." You know, I'm thinking this some.
Yeah. All right. Model for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
He said, "I'll be right back." He came back. He went back to the room. He had his clothes off. He came back, and he had a thick leather belt. He took the thick leather belt and told me that I'm only doing this because I love you. There can only be one God in this house.
That's what he said?
And I'm it. He took the belt and he beat me across my face, across my neck, and across my back. While I had no clothes on, he had me sit down on the sofa and he whipped me again.
Wow.
And he struck me several times in the face. Then he picked me up, took me to the bedroom, and forced me to have anal sex.
Wow.
After he was done, he stood there and he laughed and he mocked.
Wow.
He instead of him going to the bathroom, I went through almost the same thing where he urinated on me.
Was he drunk too?
No, he wasn't drunk. He was very sane, but I had alcohol in me.
Yeah.
He just kept going, you know. But it went from anal sex to having vaginal sex. I'm hurting, I'm bleeding from my face, my body is sore, I'm hurting, I'm crying out.
Right.
It wasn't until I laid on that bed, and I still get a little emotional when I do think about it. I laid on that bed and I said, "God, please help me." I said, "This death is better than this. Please take me now."
Wow.
That's all I just laid there because there was nothing I could do but just lay there. At this time, I was his beating, his punching bag, his sex bag, everything he wanted to. At this point, this continued on for a few more, about a year. He figured, well, if I wasn't saying anything,
he's gonna continue doing it, right?
And I was too afraid to. And you know, by trade, I'm a nurse. So I'm supposed to help the community. I help heal people. You know. And
you being broken at home.
Went to work. He made sure I had good top of the line makeup, that matte makeup, covered up everything. Went to work as nothing. But when I came home, I was his slave.
Wow.
I had to submit to him. So the last night that happened, and I just prayed to God that death just has to be better than this. This is not life. Death has to be better.
I'll just get away.
So I just cried and I yelled out, "Please help me!" And after that, I just kind of blacked out a little bit. There was a bang at the door. He was gone. He left me there. You know, just in his muse. This was his work that he had done. Knowing that when he came back, I would still be there because I couldn't move unless he said so, unless it was okay.
Wow.
This was, you know, he would get to the point where he would actually help bathe me. He would actually give me a shower, help me get in the shower, and help me get into bed, and then he would leave. But on this particular occasion, he didn't leave. He didn't do any of that. He just left me there, and he left. There was a loud bang at the door, and I crawled to the door. This is when I was living in an apartment here in Norfolk, Virginia. And I crawled to the door, and it was a neighbor. And you know how we all talk about those nosy neighbors?
That's a blessing. They was nosy.
Right to this day, I pray. You know, Miss Vivian. I won't mention her last name. It's an elder white lady. Lived in the building where everything that was going on. When everybody moved out, moving and all that. But she was that nosy neighbor. But what she did was she offered me salvation. She offered me help. She was banging at the door. The door wasn't locked. He forgot to lock it.
And she came in.
She said, "Is everything okay in here? I heard all the commotion," because it was. She walked back to the back, and all she did, I could remember hearing her say, "I'm here to help you." I don't know if it was her or if it was God moving through her and using her at the time. She went into the bathroom. She cleaned me up. She put me in her old Bonneville, took me to the emergency room, and from that point on, that was when I left.
Awesome.
And then go back.
We really need to learn to look out for each other. A lot of times we'll talk and we'll gossip about, oh, I think she getting beat on at home, this, that, and other. Why don't we become somebody that could give that helping hand? You never know what you can say to somebody that could help them out. So we need to come together as a community. Whenever we know these things or hear these things, sometimes you may be in a position to where you're too weak to do it yourself. So we need to come to each other, have each other's back, and be that strength to support each other. But we're going to go to a break, and we're going to come back and talk more about this subject. This is the Vadio Show. This is Domestic Silence. We'll see you after this commercial.
And here's a message from one of our proud sponsors.
We Care Transport for Kids offers parents a safe, community-trusted, and reliable children's transportation service. We Care transports kids to and from school and on to other after-school activities such as aftercare, tutoring lessons, sports, and other enrichment programs. We also have wheelchair vans for transporting children with special needs. So if you're in need of a reliable and affordable door-to-door service, give us a call. We Care is not just a name, it's what we do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are back to the Vadio Show, the People Show, and this is Domestic Silence. And I'm gonna speak to y'all, but first and foremost, I gotta say, man, we gotta step it up, man. I mean, we've gotta really, if you got mothers, if you got daughters, you got sisters, understand that these women that you treat this way, they are someone else's, mother or daughter or sister, and that doesn't make you look like a better person. Matter of fact, that makes you look weaker in my book. If you're gonna put your hands on a woman, instead of treating her like a queen, if you claim to be a king, you want to be in charge of, or the king of your castle, you have to treat your woman like a queen to get that. You know what I mean? So I just want to send a call to men, just a challenge to man up, be better men, treat your women properly, and I'll move on. But I'm just hearing y'all's story. I can't fathom how men could even have that, even look at themselves in the mirror after things like that. But I want to find out what can we do first off to prevent this. Like, if you see the signs, because I know once they start beating on you mentally, that breaks a woman down, and that's what makes it last so long and you deal with it. How do you catch it before that point? What are the signs, and what should they do to notice them when they're happening? Usually
the physical side of it is usually the end. It's usually the last part of it, and 9 times out of 10 it starts out more verbally, mentally, and emotionally before any type of physical starts.
Gotcha.
They have to get you here first, and then once you get broken down here mentally and emotionally, that's when you kind of become weak.
Gotcha.
And then they tend to take it.
So you need to check them from day one when they start talking crazy.
If you know for a fact that this is not how you're supposed to be treated, don't accept it.
Yeah.
Don't accept it, because a person can only treat you the way you allow them to.
Yeah.
So the sooner you understand that, and the sooner you can let them know that I'm not the one, then it won't start.
Gotcha.
So even before it begins to become physical, the first altercation, the first argument where you feel like he's taking a little bit more of a dominating role, that's the first signal. That's a red flag.
Gotcha.
Control is always the beginning.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let me ask you, after, let's say if someone has already gotten to that point, has gotten past the verbal, he's putting hands on her, and she's beat down, she doesn't want to talk to anybody because she's embarrassed, or she feels like somebody gonna be looking at her crazy if she tells. Where does she go from there?
Well, once she gets the courage to leave, because it's not going to be anybody that can tell her anything.
Gotcha.
Or even a guy, anything to leave that relationship. They're going to have to make that decision on their own. So when they decide to do that, they have to come up with a safety plan.
Okay.
Okay, because when you are leaving a domestic violence relationship, it is the worst time of the situation.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's the worst time, because when they know you're getting ready to leave, they, you know, they're
what
mad,
they'll do.
you know, so it could be very dangerous. It's a dangerous time for, you know, someone that's being abused. So come up with a safety plan, you know, how you're going to get out, store stuff, paperwork, overnight bag. Call one of your girlfriends and let them know, hey, I'm going to leave on this night. I might need your help. Know what he's doing, know where he's going to be at. So when you make your exit, it won't be, you know, it won't turn into
definitely
you know,
get other people
exit.
involved,
right?
Too.
You know, so your most important papers. I mean, if you have to you go to work every day, take something, you know, out of the house every day that he won't notice is missing. Your you know, important papers, your ID, anything. So when you're ready to make your exit, you know, you'll be, you know, prepared. But that's a safety plan, and planning how to get out is very important, because that is the most dangerous time.
Got you.
You agree?
I agree.
But at the end of it, get out.
Yeah, and then
don't stick around.
Right, and then once you decide, there are so much help available here in Hampton Roads, and that's another, people don't know that. We have shelters, a lot of shelters here in Hampton Roads that are ready and willing to help.
Do you have some names for some?
Samaritan House, the Her Shelter, Transition Shelter, Geneve Shelter.
Okay.
The dwelling place.
Yeah, the dwelling place.
Good.
You know, they'll if you're in a domestic violence situation, they're here to help you, you and your children.
And they can Google that and find it.
They can Google and find it. Go to any shelter here in Norfolk, Portsmouth, Virginia Beach, and any one of them will be glad to help you. Or call Vicky, Box Cutter Magazine, or me, you know, because normally people call me for resources,
right?
And I'll give them those resources,
okay.
You know, and if they, you know, if the shelters are full, I try to get them other resources, you know, because I don't actually have a shelter, you know, but I'm just, you know, I provide.
Right, but you get people where they need to be. Okay.
So we're here to help.
Okay.
So there is help out there.
Definitely, and I appreciate y'all coming on and sharing your stories and letting people know they're not alone. And I just want them to know that you don't have to deal with that. You don't have to deal with it. Leave. You see him talking crazy to you, you know your worth. Cut him off, set him straight immediately. Check him from the gate. Because I would rather them catch it before, you know what I mean?
Right.
But some people have been, you know, moved on. Because with music and entertainment and things like that, they push a lot of stuff against women. You know, these girls ain't loyal, and I don't love them hoes, and you know, all these music, even the R&B artists. There's so much lack of respect and uplifting of the woman right now that is ridiculous, and it rubs off on the kids, the young boys, even the girls end up singing the songs. So that makes them feel like that they're supposed to be in that position. You know what I mean? So it's gotten to the point to where these young boys are growing up feeling like if they love a woman or spend some money on a woman or take care of a woman, they're a chump. You know what I mean? And they've been called that was the best word I can come up with. But you know, this whole cycle of them being convinced that, you know, the woman is lesser, you should disrespect her, I'm this macho, you know, misogynist type of person, this attitude, this personality that's rubbing off on our kids and our young adults. It's keeping man and woman separated, which is ultimately separating the household, which is ultimately separating the community. So we never be able to come together. So the source of it is better homes, better mothers, better fathers. That's why fathers aren't in households with a lot of families anymore, and therefore the woman doesn't get a good blueprint as to what a man's supposed to be.
That's right.
So they end up, you know, running with the first guy that shows them any type of attention. You know what I mean? So we've got to be the change we want to see, and I'm glad y'all were able to tell the stories, and thank y'all for reaching back and helping other people who are in those situations. Y'all want to leave a website or phone number, anything, please do so.
Once again, my organization is called My Help My Hope Foundation, and they can reach me at myhelpmyhope.org.
Okay.
We're on Facebook. Just Google My Help My Hope, and they'll find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Okay.
I just wanted to say too that we have a huge awareness event coming up. We're collaborating with Norfolk State. October 29th. It's a domestic violence awareness event. It's going to be on campus at Norfolk State. Look for all the information on in the newspaper.
We'll post it as well.
Yeah, Hampton Roads Show. But we're going to try to post it and bring awareness to it, because we need people to come out and get this free information. It's free and open to the public, and we're just letting letting them know that there are resources out here right here in our community that's willing to help you.
Awesome.
So,
we have a website as well. You can find our publication as well as a lot of the testimonies from a lot of other survivors here in Hampton Roads. www.bxcmagazine.com. We also have an event coming up in November. It's November the 8th. We're doing a fundraiser which is open to the community. We're going to host it at the wonderful Palm Gardens. And we're doing a collaboration with all of Clear Channel Radio and as well as a shelter in Norfolk, the dwelling place.
Awesome.
So we're collaborating together. This is a fundraiser to help raise funds for this shelter. We have a representative that will be there that night from the shelter that will be there to receive that donation. You can call, the number is 757-374-1526 for tickets. Tickets are only $20.
Awesome.
And they come with a dinner. So it'll be a wonderful evening to have a good time. A live band, Ramonta Allen. A lot of people in the Hampton Roads area know about him.
Yeah, I know Ramonta.
So
great guy, great singer.
He's a big supporter for domestic violence awareness himself. We love him. So he'll be there. It's just a chance for everybody to come together. All shelters, social workers, any survivors. You know, it's a chance for the community to come together.
Yes.
And it's our campaign for a party with a purpose.
Very good.
Our party with a purpose is to celebrate a night without fear.
Very good.
And also just to piggyback on where you can find help, if you go to the website for Box Cutter, there is a section that has numbers and hotlines for those who may not be going through it but want to help someone. It is anonymous.
Gotcha.
You can call if you see it happening and you don't know who to call. Look at that number and just call them.
Yeah,
just call them. They won't ask any personal questions about you, but they are willing to help.
Gotcha. Don't wait. Get in contact and make the change now. So I appreciate y'all for coming. Thank y'all for sharing. This is a blessing of a show. I hope you all were blessed as well. This is the Vadio Show. This was Domestic Silence, and it's not silent no more. We'll see y'all next episode.
Hey there, lonely hearts. When it comes to dating, do you feel like this?
I can't date him. He's my friend.
No, we're just friends.
I mean, she's cool, but I don't really think of her like that.
He's my friend.
I'm not gonna do that. That's kind of weird, man.
If so, then disharmony.com is the site for you. We make it our business to set you up with your mortal enemy. Are you a Democrat? Well, we'll set you up with one of our finest Republicans. Are you a Blood? Then let one of our Crips walk into your life. Huge Cowboys fan? Then you'll love our most adamant, wait, can we say Redskins now? Well, Washington fans. Don't just take it from us. Listen to one of our satisfied customers.
She shot me more times than 50 Cent, but she's hot.
He's a complete douche. I love him.
Why like someone you like when you can like someone you fight? Disharmony.com.
Love never felt so good. Black.
Breezy Beats Production.
Now we're live on the red carpet. This is the Vadio Show. And we're at the Domestic Violence Awareness event. And what brought you ladies out tonight?
Just to come out and support domestic violence is a huge issue here in America, and just to come out and support it, and that people are being aware and active of it.
What's going on with you down here, Miss Lady? What's up, everybody? This is Cherie, the hair icon. I want to give a shout out to Box Cover. They are truly representing tonight. I am so excited for my boo. I met her over 5 years ago doing big things, and I'm so proud of her. She is looking so lovely tonight. I'm so excited to be a part of this event. Hair icon in the building. Woo!
this is, what it took to get to this point. It's a lot of hard work. You know, everybody just sees it from the outside. But it's a whole lot of work to pull this together. But people like Cherie with Hair Icon and everybody else involved, they helped put this together. It's a lot of love in this room tonight.
What a wonderful event. Everybody's glad to be here. Everybody's looking beautiful. Shout out to everyone who put this together. And shout out to the Vadio show. Y'all make sure y'all tune in.
Growing up and seeing my parents, when they get into an argument and so forth, my dad just grabbed the keys and leave. So me seeing that, that's what I do. We've been married 22 years and I've never put my hands on her before. So, and I'm not going to do it now.
Well, awesome. Congratulations on 22 years of marriage. Thank you for supporting such an awesome event.